Hello. Well, today I'm talking about employment contracts and specifically why it's important to make sure that yours are compliant, and maybe some things about what you can do if they're not. Now, let's have a think about this. Imagine you having some work done either in or on your house or your home. You have an agreed rate and timescale for the work to be completed, and whoever you select starts the job on time. However, you have no written agreement or contract in place with them, and they suddenly down tools for a period without giving you any notice. Now, without an agreement in place, this could cost you extra money to get someone else in, as well as time you might not be able to afford. And employment contract works in a very similar way. It's designed to set out the key terms so that both parties are very clear about what's expected from the start. Now, one of the most persistent mistakes we see is the copy and paste employment contract. That is, if a contract is in place at all. I'll be honest with you, I can see how it happens. You start a business, there's so many balls you've got up in the air, you feel like everything you need to do is endless. Now, whether a business owner begins hiring immediately at the start of a business or a while in, they can sometimes think it's harmless shortcut to use maybe one from a previous job. They've Googled employment contract and simply copy and paste the first result that comes up, or maybe even use one somebody's giving them. I'll be honest, this is the point where I start to tear my hair out. But why? What can possibly go wrong? Because that probably sounds really sensible and achievable. The key thing is, signed contracts are legally binding. You need to make sure you're providing the correct holiday allowances, sick pay rates, and even maternity or paternity rates. It could be that you've missed something out entirely. For example, maybe a confidentiality clause or wording that's specific to your business, maybe even notice periods. And relying on an older contract, you don't know if the wording's correct, could mean that you don't include changes brought in by latest legislation or case law, and that can come back and bite you down the way. And the other thing is, when copying and pasting, there is the slight risk that you include the name of another company in a contract template. You might not even realise it's in there. So a poorly worded employment contract might really restrict your options if you need to make any significant changes in the future. Restructuring a business acquisition or sale, for example. Now, there is confusion around employment contracts. Let's be clear, a written statement of particulars of employment does need to be given to an employee on or before their first day of starting work. So on or before their first day of employment. There are a number of items that will need to be included as a minimum, and these include not only the employee and employer's names and addresses, but also their conditions of pay, how they're paid and when, how often, the location of the work that they're going to be completing, start date, continuous employment date. What about the pension and disciplinary and grievance matters? Those should all be contained in there. And a good employment contract will be bespoke to your organisation, reflecting your culture, your operations, and the type of business that you are. This means that you might have additional sections or clauses included, perhaps regarding social media, or a really detailed health and safety clause. Now, here at the HR department, Carla Morecambe, we're used to supporting businesses with introducing their first employment contract, as well as making sure they have an up-to-date version in place that they can provide to new employees or employees that change role. Now, if you've got any questions or need any further information, you're not sure whether what you're doing is quite right, get in touch with me directly through one of the routes on the screen, and I will see about helping you out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.